All right, welcome back to another Graphic Designers React to NFL logos. We got 3 new logos for you. Let's get right into it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the Colts, which something that's interesting about them that I didn't know before this is they started in Baltimore as the Colts. These logos are actually more related to the Baltimore Colts.
Oh, okay.
But they still kind of see themselves as starting in 1953 as the Colts.
That horse holding a football? Wow.
Football. Overall, I think like these kind of older logos are pretty sweet, honestly. It's like a very interesting take.
They're very animated.
Yeah.
Which is weird because the horse obviously doesn't look realistic, but it's not very cartoonish.
Right.
But like you see the helmet like coming off the head and even holding the football.
In about, what was it, like the early 80s, they ended up moving to Indianapolis, and right beforehand, so that logo they came up with in 1979, right before they moved to Indianapolis, and they've pretty much used the same thing ever since. The only thing they've changed is like the color of blue that they use. In 2020, they had a kind of a brand refresh, and they updated the word mark, kind of added some secondary logos, wanted to keep the horseshoe as the primary logo, and in that video, they said that they would probably never change it.
I don't seem to remember changing it either.
Yeah. What do you guys think of this logo?
I mean, nothing honestly to say about it and nothing to write home about.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of like the Saints, you know?
Yeah,
Where
exactly.
it's like their shape, but it's also a very common used shape.
Do kind of like this as a logo for the team. I think it fits like kind of the team and the branding and also like Indianapolis, I guess. And the only thing I think that really bothers me about this logo is how small the holes are.
Yeah,
I don't know why, but it just seems weird to me. I tried to find why there's 7 grommets or holes or indents, whatever they want to call it, and I couldn't find anything.
Yeah, maybe it's just like that's how many are in a horseshoe when you put the horseshoe on. I don't know anything about horses.
Different breeds of horses are going to have different size of hooves.
Sure.
Yeah.
I know that they make a wide range of horseshoes. Yeah, I thought there was some kind of like meaning for that. You know, a lot of times when they like specifically say like there's 7 grommets, you think, like, oh, that must be a reason. And then nothing I could find.
I don't really have much to say about the logo. Nothing like super grand.
Yeah.
You know, just like a lot of other logos that we've seen in the NFL. I'm going to give it a 2.
what it is.
2?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was probably giving it a 4.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it's worthy of a 2, but
I guess if I were to give it a 2, I guess I would say it's bad. But I guess it's not like that it's bad. So I'll change it to a 4.
yeah, to me it's not bad.
bad.
It's just not special.
I think you make like a good point though. Like it's not unique. It's just a horseshoe, which you see in all kinds of different places. Not only that, but it's not even like a very stylistic horseshoe. You know, I feel like you could maybe make it a little bit more unique just by maybe going with a different style. Yeah, I don't know. I was kind of leaning towards a 4 as well.
All right.
Words across the
It's
bowl.
kind of, yeah, it's just so generic.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna jump into branding. So I did, because they kind of did an update in 2020, I did find some branding stuff, which was kind of cool. These are kind of the colors that they use. They did kind of give them some names.
Anvil Black.
Face mask gray.
Wow.
I don't know about face mask gray, but I like Anvil Black.
Yeah, I think Anvil Black is cool. And it's cool that it's not like a rich black. It's kind of like
It's like a charcoal. Like a,
yeah, exactly.
Off
Yeah.
black.
Off black.
Is that even a thing?
Yeah, you can have like vintage black.
Vintage black.
So what was kind of cool is they brought back that old Buck and Bronco logo for one of their secondary logos, or they call their historic logo.
Okay.
And then in 2020, they created the C as their, as like an official secondary logo. And this is something they use on their jerseys and throughout their branding and stuff.
That's a good secondary.
So the horseshoe and the state.
Yeah, it was saying how there's 7 grommets to mimic
The horseshoe.
the logo, right? But it doesn't explain what they mean.
Yeah.
One thing that's also really nice about their branding is like this is the C from their word mark. If we go to kind of like the next slides and stuff, you'll see that a lot of the text they use is actually mimicking that word mark as well.
Oh, okay.
So they kind of lean into that slab serif, kind of Western looking typeface. A lot of their branding is, I kind of want to say generic in the sense where they kind of have like a texture in the background. They use the same typeface. Yeah, so one thing that I did think that was pretty strong about the branding is that it's pretty consistent. They use, you know, a lot of the same typefaces. They kind of use similar layouts, a lot of the same kind of gradients and textures in their stuff. Is honestly like something every team should be doing with their branding, is trying to keep it more consistent. That was kind of really what I could find for branding. I would lean towards maybe like an 8 for their branding. I feel like it's fairly average and generic, but the fact that they keep it consistent, you know, kind of just makes it a little bit stronger. So I'd say it's a little above average at an 8.
I do wish that they leaned a little bit more into that Western look, the traditional Western look, if they're going to keep the logo the same. So I do wish they would do that a little bit more. I'm going to give it 5.
I guess I'm going to split the difference and go a 6, because I kind of agree with what you were saying, how it's kind of got the standard, you know, texture in the background. Yeah, sporty Nike kind of style look. I do like that they do stick to their slab serif. I think that's not typically what these teams are doing nowadays, is kind of just a square italicized font for their branding. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm gonna go 6.
All right, jumping into their jerseys. Yeah, humming away, pretty standard. Their stripes, their logos on the helmet. What I thought was really cool was the alternate, or what they call like the Indianapolis like nightlife jersey. So in 2022 or 2020 as well, they updated the jerseys. So on their regular jerseys, they actually used that slab serif typeface rather than kind of what they had before, which was just more of like a college font. They also include a patch for one of their previous team owners, Jim Irsay, I think is how you say his name. So this is the breakdown of their like nightlife jersey.
Got some heather.
Yeah, so they use a blue heather for the jerseys. They use a black trim, which is a lot different. They have stripes on the shoulders on their regular jerseys that kind of come this way, but on these ones, they kind of go like lateral with the shoulder, which I guess is unique. But what's really cool is their helmet. So they have a black helmet, and then the blue stripe and the logo on the side kind of have this almost like pearl blue. And then this is their throwback jersey. So again, it's kind of generic. You have the stripes on the shoulders. You kind of have the slab serif typeface for the numbers that they used back then. But one thing I thought was interesting is they put the logos on the back of the helmet rather than the sides.
Yeah, interesting.
What do you guys think of the jerseys?
Honestly, nothing. This whole branding and whole team so far has just been something I really can't get behind. Yeah, nothing I'm too like, oh, that's different, or oh, that's cool. I apologize to the Colts fan, but I'm not a huge fan of the jerseys either. I do like blue and white together. I will say that, like, blue and white are just strong colors.
That's your high school colors.
No, it's not. I often am skeptical black and blue together, though. I'm not too sure about that color combo, but blue and white are strong.
I think what's funny about NFL jerseys is they're all pretty generic, and it's like even just changing what the numbers look like a lot of the times is like, oh, yeah. I feel like they're overall pretty unimaginative.
And it seems like when they try to add imagination to it, it gets shot down pretty fast.
Yeah. So I think for me, like seeing cool things in the helmet where they use like a pearl blue, like in the logo on the stripe.
Well, and like
just changing the direction of the stripes.
I know, that was like kind of cool. Well, even the heather jersey I thought was kind of cool.
I'm beginning to think that just a lot of NFL fans, they like very basic designs, like very basic. And
like they want them all to look like a different color of the Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Or the same, they're just different colors.
Yeah, I'm just not a fan of it. I'm just gonna give it a 4.
I'm gonna probably go a 6.
Okay.
I like the heather. I think that's a cool thing that they added. And I agree with you on the stripe. I think that's something that, like, that stood out.
Yeah, and I think just like thinking back on all the jerseys that we've seen, like there's been some pretty boring ones.
Yeah.
So I want to give these guys an 8.
It's funny, another thing I'll say is every time I see 3 stripes, I think Adidas.
All right, we're gonna jump into the Colts culture. So one thing that kind of stood out to me when I was looking up these guys is they're pretty like proud of Indianapolis and also like the team and anybody that's involved with the team. So I have some sayings like for the city, which is for Indianapolis. For the boss is for that Jim guy. He was like one of their previous owners. I guess he made like a really big impact on the team and the culture. And then for the shoe is representing the team.
That's cool.
They have like a lot of pride. So this is their version of their drum. It's a big anvil, which we watched this video about them like making it, and it like seems like this grand thing, and then it gets to the guy banging on it, and it like you can't even hear.
Yeah.
And we watched them make it out of metal, but I'm looking at it and it looks plastic. Like you can see, like if you look at it close, you can see a seam down the center of it.
You know what they should do? That instead of those, they should just get coconuts.
Oh yeah, Monty Python.
We're coming out.
That would be so. And the football players are like this while they're coming out.
What the hell are you talking about? Hey, but they got a mascot with cool shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does have pretty sick shoes.
And I think like with the culture, like to me, what should stand out is like culture that the team creates, you know, whether it's kind of by like chance or, you know, they come up with something like a terrible towel. Like it's something that the team is doing for the fans to like make them either feel involved or like a part of the team or a part of the experience. And I just feel like this anvil thing just didn't really do it. And I couldn't find a whole lot of other stuff to where like the team is trying to do that. They do have the goofiest looking mascot in the league, I think. This mascot's name is Blue. He's a crazy looking horse and he always has something in his nostrils. So
That's cute.
all right, and then my favorite part of the Colts culture is Peyton Manning. Many don't know that the great commercial actor Peyton Manning actually used to play football.
He prepared for his commercial career by playing football.
I'm interested to hear what you guys want to give their culture.
I would agree with you in the fact that culture should be what the team has created rather than what everybody else is doing.
Yeah.
I'd be curious to know what the Colts would tell us is unique about their culture.
Cool. And it does feel like learning about this team that they're kind of more of like a family. Definitely, if you guys know of more culture, leave it down in the comments. Like I'd love to know more about it. But like with the Packers, it was easy to find that stuff. And it's like with these guys, it was digging pretty deep.
I'm gonna give the culture, man, I've given low scores on everything. I'm gonna give the culture a 6. I don't think it's absolutely horrible.
Say we start at 7. The anvil probably brings it down 2 points. And then Peyton Manning gives it 1 point, so 6.
All right.
I'm gonna go 5. I don't know. Anything too crazy.
Prove us wrong down in the comments.
Yeah. So
Got a new low.
brace yourselves.
So it looks like these guys come in at a 66 out of 120.
Yeah.
Good.
Which is a failing grade, folks. That's failing.
That's not great.
All right. The Jags.
So Jaguars.
Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm pretty excited about this one. Let's jump into their logo. This back in 1995. I think they started out pretty hot. I think they started out pretty good.
Yeah, I would say.
For 1995, I was really good. I think one thing you guys would probably say is like, there's no teal. There's only one spot where the teal is.
Right.
And they kind of updated that.
Oh, yeah.
Updated it a lot. And they added it into the eye, the nose, and the tongue.
No, that's good.
And it looks much better.
Yeah. One thing about that previous one is the perspective felt off.
I really like the textures in the spot.
Yeah, they did a good job.
Design. I really love this logo. Looking at it more and more, it really does a good job for an animal mascot logo.
Yeah. This is the direction teams should be going with their mascot logo.
Yeah.
And they utilize all of those colors in their branding, which is really cool. I really love this logo. I think it's amazing. I did not give it as much value until I really looked into it. So I really like it. I'm going to give it a 10.
Honestly, I want to give it a 10 too, just so that these other teams with these mascot logos can recognize.
Yeah.
the real,
Take note.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly probably give it a 10 too. I don't think I could pick it apart and say something bad about it. So.
Yeah, it's a sweet logo. I really
really
like
is.
it. Jumping into the branding, I really like their color scheme. They have 2 golds. They have dark gold and just a regular gold. And then that teal, I don't know what it is. I've been told that a lot of people don't like these colors,
Really?
but I think they work really well together.
Yeah.
for sure.
I just think that teal does a good job at separating themselves from other teams because you'll often see gold and black together in a lot of other brandings just across the nation, but that teal really separates them.
And I think that's good for Jacksonville too.
Uh-huh.
That's definitely a Jacksonville color.
Jaguar really should have took note with their rebrand,
Seriously.
especially in that shield badge.
Yeah, it
like
looks
tight space.
It looks like a car emblem.
The shield logo is actually their secondary present logo. The older one, that one is just, I thought was an honorable mention. It was one of their secondary logos, and I think it looked really cool. The typeface was a little like wonky, but it felt very 90s. They really started out very good.
Yeah.
I think this is kind of where they lose me a little bit. They have this gradient they have in a lot of their branding. I'll show you also that they had it in their helmets, and I was kind of on par. Well, I don't know if they call in their games The Hunt. I hear it sometimes and sometimes I don't, but I think it's super cool just to call games The Hunt. They have this very digital look to a lot of their branding. I think it's off-brand in my opinion. It doesn't really match, you know, patterns of a Jaguar. I wish they would kind of follow that leopard scheme a little bit more. It does feel like their branding on that part is a little interesting. I like the colors. I like the secondary logos, the logos. What would you guys say in the comments? Do you think these brands should dive into kind of what their obvious branding would be, or do you like having something very different to go with their logos? For example, like this digital look going with their Jaguar.
I'm gonna go 6.
6?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go 7. No, wait. I'm gonna do an 8. I'm gonna do an 8 because I really like the color scheme. I think the color scheme's really good, and I like their secondary logo badge.
I think I'm gonna go 6. I feel like it's like pretty good. I feel like they've kind of got like a good hold on branding like a lot of the other teams. I just don't feel like it's as consistent,
Yeah.
which I think hurts it a
was
little.
kind of my big hang up.
I agree. I don't think it's consistent.
It almost didn't feel like all the same team.
Jumping into their uniforms. These uniforms are not totally unique. I do like the teal, no stripes, just solid colors, and their logo on the helmet. I don't think they look horrible.
I honestly kind of like that there's not a stripe on the pants.
Yeah, I don't think it would be on brand for them if they did a stripe too. So I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, but apparently nobody liked the ombre helmet look, and I think it looked cool. But what do you guys think of the ombre look on the metallic gold?
I think it's cool. I think anytime they do something that's just different from the normal, I think should be more celebrated by their fans.
I agree.
Like, you guys are making it so boring. They're not going to want to continue to try doing new things if everybody just shuts them down every time they do. Even if, you know, like, I probably wouldn't have been my choice to do half black, half gold, but like, at least they're trying something.
Yeah.
It does fade very sharp.
Yeah, that was.
Like it's a very
I do wish it was
sharp.
a little bit more of a subtle fade. I
Yeah.
do think the logo looks kind of weird spanned across the 2 colors too.
What would you guys rate the uniforms?
It's funny how teal is always associated with Florida. Seems to happen a lot. But I would say, like, the way this team uses the teal, I actually really like. And I know that they're, like, pretty plain as far as jerseys and stuff go, but I actually like them. And so I would give them an 8.
Oh wow! I was not gonna lie, I was gonna go 5 on this. I
5?
didn't think they were that special. Or
Yeah. I'm gonna go 6. I agree with Thain that there's nothing super unique about them. However, I don't think they're horrible. Last but not least, the culture. You guys are gonna get a kick out of this. This is pretty. They have this chant, Duval. It's the county that the stadium is in. They chant Duval in their stadium, which is pretty interesting. I don't know that any other team chants a county name. It's pretty cool until you hear the coach yell it. Duval.
Duval.
All right. Apparently he's a pretty cool guy. I think I'd be good friends with him. The chant in the stadium definitely sounds better than that. He just
Hope so.
This is probably the team we're gonna get into the mascot really heavy. Jackson DeVille. He's definitely ruined it for a lot of other teams though. But let me get into how this team's culture is because of this guy. So they have a pool in their stadium. It's the only stadium in the NFL that has a pool, which is pretty funny. It just reminds me of bench warmers.
Yep, I was gonna say bench warmers.
There was a time when he would go out on the games in Speedos.
Wow.
Yeah, so he was wearing a Speedo. Anyway, he's not allowed to wear a Speedo anymore because the NFL gave them a warning saying, hey, we don't like this behavior. We need you to change it up. And so he can't wear a Speedo anymore.
He's pretty controversial.
Yeah, very controversial. And another thing is he came out during a game and he brought a sign that said towels carry Ebola for a terrible towel. And he had to come out and apologize for that.
Wow.
So there's a lot of rules that came out for mascots because of him. If I missed anything, let me know in the comments, but your guys' culture is chock full of Jackson DeVille. All right, what would you guys rank it?
Yeah, I'm like mixed because the mascot thing, that's definitely important.
I think the team is doing a really good job.
It's so weird. I feel like their culture is very on brand for Florida, even though I don't know much about it. With like the little information and having that feeling, like I kind of want to give them an 8.
Okay. I'll give him an 8 as well.
I guess I just wish there was more that was deeper than surface level, you know?
Yeah.
Like there was something more that brought the fans and the team together than a pool and the mascot. So I'm probably gonna go with the 5.
I like it too. I think it's balanced.
I think that their culture is around a pool, and a Speedo wearing mascot is what makes it feel so Florida.
If you gave it a 2, I wouldn't be mad either. Like, I think we need some sort of balance to me and Matt. All right, gonna end it out with a 90 out of 120.
Not bad.
Not bad, Jaguars.
Especially after we just got off that 66. So
Yeah.
I chose this team because they are my favorite team in the NFL.
Why is it your favorite team?
It's kind of like Matt's story where it's not anything crazy significant. It's just the first Super Bowl I remember watching, they played and won. It was 2012. I was 7 years old. Little history first, because I messed that up last time. So they are a very old team. They had their 100-year anniversary last year. I know this says 1945. I don't think they started going by the Giants, or at least had like a logo or anything to tell the...
I actually read today, those original teams, they didn't have logos. A lot of times they would just have like a picture of like a player.
Okay. This was the first logo, 1945.
Yeah, there's the city,
There's the Giant.
and a badge.
1950. Not gonna lie, for 1950, I feel like that's pretty good.
That is really good.
Yeah.
Go back to that.
I don't love the legs sticking out, but other than that, like it's a pretty sick logo.
Yeah.
It's like a robot leg to me.
Yeah,
Which kind of makes it cool.
Moving on, 1956, they kind of downgraded. I feel like I
Yeah.
don't know. The concept is cool, but it just isn't as good as the 1951. 1960, it's pretty close to what they have now. Then 1975, they did that kind of line one, which I think is cool, but it's also kind of a lot to look at.
They could do something for like a secondary logo with that same kind of look.
And then 1976, that word mark is still their current word mark, but that, I guess, was a logo, their like logo for a time. That's their current logo.
The red and that navy.
It's interesting, like where it's an abbreviation for New York, but it's lowercase.
I kind of like it for that reason, though.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I think it's kind of different.
I think it's because there's more character with the lowercase y.
I actually personally like their logo. I think it's versatile. I think you can get it pretty small and you'll still be able to tell what it is. The NY is pretty simple.
I don't know if I like the red and the navy together.
I think those two colors are too saturated. Like they
Yeah.
don't create enough contrast. If they, took the saturation down on the blue or the red, one or the other, I think it would work a little stronger.
I
Yeah,
think
I agree.
there's great contrast. Okay.
So with colors, you have different things. You have hue, you have saturation, and you have brightness.
And you have tint.
Tint is brightness, right?
All right, fine.
To create contrast, you have to have a difference between like at least two of those. These have good contrast in hue, but I would say they have the same tint or brightness, and I would say they have the same saturation.
Well, all right then. I think it's also nice that it's not a regular shape, like with the Green Bay Packers. It was just kind of a regular kind of G. This one's a little bit more stylistic.
Yes, you're right.
I like the slab, Sarah.
Yeah, which to me I like more.
I'll give it a 7. It's not my favorite logo, but I do think there's things that make it different for a text logo that I think are good. And I think it's very well balanced.
I'm trying to stay unbiased. I'm gonna go 10. I'm just kidding. I don't think it's perfect. I definitely think there's some things that could be better about it for sure. So I'm gonna go with an 8.
This one's got me perplexed. Like, I think this could make a really cool secondary logo. I think it would be stronger as that. I'm gonna give it a 7.
Nice discussion. Moving on to branding. These are their colors.
Kind of clash a little bit.
You guys brought up the color. They are pretty much the same as the Bills. I don't think I mean, it's red, white, and blue. And, you know.
I think it's just how they're using them. They're putting that red on top of the blue a lot.
That was me. Again.
Also, is that a different blue than...
I couldn't find a branding guide, okay?
I like these colors. I like the bright red, like especially like the bright red. For some reason, my eye keeps going to that.
These are the word marks. I feel like they're pretty iconic. As far as other teams' word marks go, this one, you just see everywhere.
I like that some of the letters are, well, all the letters, I guess, are connected. I actually like that. I like how it's a little bit sheared, too.
All right, and then this is kind of just some of their branding in action. I mean, it's not like anything crazy, but they do, you know, they have that texture that we kind of talked about where they use like this kind of cracked, broken ground, I guess. I don't know what you call it. Something I thought was kind of cool is where they're such an old team, they use this. You can't really see it, any of this, but they have like a grainy kind of texture that they put over stuff, and it makes it feel more of like a vintage.
They really dive into this blue. And
yeah, they use the blue quite.
I will say what the Giants have on what we've talked about on our two teams that we just talked about is how consistent they look.
It also have like that, like I used it at the top, and just these kind of weird rectangle shapes that come together. I just think it's more unique than what is usually done with that, where they're all stacked and it's all the same angle and whatnot.
Like, it doesn't have to have some kind of meaning to it. It just looks cool.
Yeah, this is kind of just their branding. I think it's not, like I said, anything too crazy.
No, I think it really encapsulates what the NFL is, and this is like the typical NFL team branding. And I don't think it's bad. I think it looks really good. I'm gonna give the branding for its consistency, I'm gonna give it an 8.
I'm probably gonna go 7, just because, like I said, I feel like it's relatively standard.
I think it is standard, but I feel like it's really strong too. It's kind of like, I mean, it's not necessarily like Apple. They have the consistency there. It makes it really strong. Whenever you use something the same over and over again, it just really helps create a strength to your branding. I think it makes for awesome branding. So I honestly want to give these guys a 10.
Oh, wow.
Nice. Nice.
Moving on to their uniforms. They're not special again. I'm sorry. I love the Giants, but yeah, they're not anything to get excited about. They look very cool on a person, and especially the white one with the red stripes. That one, like, I don't know why. It just looks very clean and nice. The throwback one to me, I think also.
Yeah, I do like that one too.
Especially the helmet is darker. It's like a dark blue. You wouldn't think it looks good with the lighter blue, but I mean, I think it looks pretty sweet.
I do think it's on brand. And it does a really good job.
The dark blue with that red creates way more contrast than like what we saw in their logo.
I know we've been going against, they're all very basic. I just will say that this team does a good job at keeping and staying the sporty look because it is their brand. I'm going to give jerseys a 9.
Wow, okay. I'm probably going to go an 8.
I'm going to go with an 8.
Nice.
Cool. Kind of surprised by that.
I'm not gonna lie, this team's doing a lot better than I thought it was gonna. So moving on to culture. Much like the Colts, there was not a lot out there, it seemed. And like, these guys don't even have an anvil. So Big Blue, they're kind of known as Big Blue. Apparently Giants fans don't even really say Giants. They say Big Blue, or they're also the Giants. Don't say the A, I guess. It's just Giants.
Oh, yeah.
So they got a lot of nicknames. That's cute. Their fans are pretty passionate. For an older team, that makes sense, especially because as of recent, they haven't been doing the greatest other than beating the Eagles. Some other little things we found was that after they win a home game, they do the New York by Frank Sinatra. Yeah, so after they win, they play New York by Frank Sinatra. Another thing that was really funny to me, I guess they have a chant when they play the Jets. It's Jets, suck, suck, suck.
What?
Which to me is so funny. Anyways, they're pretty involved with the community. They do this thing called the Heart of a Giant Award, which I don't even think it's like local high schools. It's like any high school. You can nominate a high schooler. They win. They get the Giant of the Heart of the Giant Award. Anyways, I guess they're Tom Brady killers because they sacked him a bunch.
Because they beat them and him twice in the Super Bowl.
Because they beat him twice in the Super Bowl.
Dang.
And they sacked.
And they sacked him a bunch. To me, not anything like, I mean, obviously you got your standard tailgating that they do, stuff like that. To me, it just wasn't anything too crazy.
Let's rank it. I'm gonna give it I'm gonna give it a 6.
Yeah, I'd probably give it a 6-2. I don't think it's anything to get too excited about.
5.
5?
Yeah, it's just because they beat the Eagles.
But I don't know, maybe there's something that I just missed in my findings. So like somebody in New York, please let me know. What may have missed?
Someone in New Jersey.
Jersey. What is crazy though is I did the team with Peyton Manning and you did the team with Eli Manning.
Yeah, that's true. Eli Manning. But I didn't make a whole slideshow about Eli Manning since he's not as cool as Pete Dog. They had Michael Strahan, so totaled it up. The Giants came out with an 89, which is, you know, if you're good at math, better than a 66. So,
all right, thank you guys, everybody, for watching these videos. We surely appreciate you, and it really helps us out if you can like and subscribe, and please leave comments down below. Put down what you think we missed, put down what you liked that we brought to the table, and we'll see you in the next one.
Duval.